So this is the graph of a continuous time odd signal as well as discrete time odd signals. So they are not symmetrical about the y-axis. So if you negate on the time axis, you will not get the same signal. Instead of that, you will get minus of x of t. Okay, now this is the another thing. Sometimes the signal may not be odd nor even, but I can split that signal into two parts. That is, I can make it as a sum of even and odd signal. So x of t can be expressed as even part and odd part. So I will denote it as even part as x e of t and odd part as x o of t. So the formula for obtaining the even part is half of x of t plus x of minus t, and for obtaining the odd part the formula is half of x of t minus x of minus t. So now let us check whether the given signal, that is this x of t, is whether the given signal is even or odd. Okay, so what is the condition to obtain the even or odd? You have to negate the time axis and you have to check whether you are getting the original signal itself, then it is an even signal. But if you are obtaining minus of that signal, then it will be a odd signal. So let us check it. So let us apply x of minus t. So if you do x of minus t, e raised to minus of minus 3t. So it will be e raised to 3t. So whether if I negate this, negate the time axis, whether you are obtaining your original signal x of t, I have to check that condition. Whether you are getting, if I negate the time axis, whether you are getting your original signal. I am asking you the question. Are you getting the same signal? Then only it will be a even signal. Is it an even signal? Can I come to a conclusion that
No.
no, it is not an even signal. X of minus t is not equal to x of t. So now I will check the other condition, whether it can be an odd signal. So x of minus t should be equal to minus x of t. Then only it will be an odd signal. Let us get that condition, minus x of t. Minus of x of t is minus e raised to minus 3t. So this is your minus x of t. So whether now I can come to a conclusion that whether the given signal is an odd signal. The condition is that x of minus t should be equal to minus of x of t. Is it equating?
No.
No.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. So both conditions are not met. So the signal, I can come to the conclusion that x of minus t is not equal to x of t, and x of minus t also is not equal to minus of x of t. So the given signal is neither odd nor even. Okay, so such kind of signal I can express now as a sum of even part signal and odd part signal. Okay, I can make it as even section. I can segregate into even section and odd section. So if the given signal is odd, okay, if I apply the condition and obtained that the given signal is odd, then the other condition it will fail. That is, even it will not be even. If I apply the condition and obtain that the given signal is even, then the odd condition will fail. Okay, but if it is neither even nor odd, then I can segregate into that even part and the odd part. Okay, now For this signal, determine the even and the odd part of the signal, that is x of t is equal to e raised to t. So x of minus t is e raised to minus t, and even part I can use this formula, that is half of x of t plus x of minus t. Using that, now I can write x of even part is equal to half of e raised to t plus e raised to minus t. Similarly, for the odd part, the formula is this. So applying that, I obtained half of e raised to t minus e raised to minus t. So this also is neither even nor an odd signal e raised to t. So I can segregate into two sections. So I hope all of you understood how to check the condition for even and odd, and how to segregate the signal into the two parts if it is neither odd nor even. Now let us come to the next type of signal, energy and power signal. Okay, whether the signal contains energy or whether the signal contains any average power. So you have to check whether. So how I can define a signal, energy signal, if it contains a finite energy. If the signal contains a finite energy, then I can call it as an energy signal. Okay, so how to identify the energy in the signal? The energy contained in the signal can be found out by using the formula limit t tends to infinity minus t to t, that is the interval. In that, if you x of t for your normal energy equation, it is, I have taken it in the integral mode. So x of t square dt. So energy in the signal can be found out using this formula. If you obtain a finite energy in the signal, then I can, or a constant value for the energy, then I can tell the given signal is an energy signal. Okay, so if it is having a finite energy, automatically the average power of the signal will be 0. Okay, if the energy contained in the signal is, you are getting a finite value, then automatically the average power will be 0. So non-periodic signals like exponential signals, they all will be energy signals. They will have a finite energy, but the average power of that signal will be 0. So let us take a, okay, before that, let us define the power signal also. So both conditions we will check from the given signal, whether it is an energy signal or a power signal. So let us define the power signal also. A signal with finite average power is said to be a power signal, and the power in the signal can be found out using the formula P is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 upon tt, 1 upon 2t, and the remaining formula is same, minus t to t x of t whole square dt. Now here I can tell for power signals, the power will be finite, it will have a constant value, but energy will be infinite. Okay, energy of the signal will be infinite. Again, the periodic signals, normally they are known as the power signals. Periodic signals like sinusoidal signals are power signals. Let us take for a discrete signal, there is a change in formula because it is a sampled signal. So to find out the energy in the signal, instead of integration, you will be using summation. So you have to sum the samples from minus infinity to infinity x of n square, and for finding the power, limit n tends to infinity 1 upon 2n plus 1 summation n equal to minus n to n x of n square. Okay, either you can remove the limit and directly you can write there n is equal to minus infinity to infinity also. Okay. So far we have not solved any examples on discrete signal. Let us first understand the continuous signal, its process. Then we will do few numericals on the discrete also, because both are important. Both type of signals, discrete as well as continuous signals, numericals you have to solve. So once again I'll repeat what is energy signal. If the signal contains a finite or constant energy in it, then I can call it as energy signal. If it is an energy signal, automatically its average power will be 0, and non-periodic signals will be energy signals. Whereas power signals contains a constant power or finite average power. If it is a power signal, the energy contained in the signal will be infinite. So periodic signals are normally power signals. So this is the formula for the discrete signal. Now let us take an example to see whether the given signal, how to identify whether the signal contains energy or power in it. So let us take an example here. This is a unit step signal. Okay, this is a unit step signal. Now let us apply the conditions for the energy. Let us apply the formula. Energy equal to limit t tends to infinity from minus t to t, x of t square dt. So the x of t, that is the magnitude of the signal, is unity. So by substituting for x of t as 1 in the formula and applying the limits minus infinity to infinity, we will get t after integration, and limits you can apply 0 to infinity, because here the signal is starting from origin, it is not from minus infinity. So I can apply the signal extends from 0 to infinity. So finally you are getting the value as infinite. So I can tell the energy contained in the signal is, if it is infinite, whether it is an energy signal. Is it an energy signal?
No.
If the energy contained in the signal is infinite, whether I can call it as an energy signal as per the definition. Can I get any response? If you understood, you can tell the answer. Otherwise, I'll repeat it again. How I can call it as a particular signal as energy signal? It should contain infinite energy, or it should contain a finite energy?
Finite.
Finite energy.
Finite energy. So here in this case, we are not getting a finite energy. So this signal will not be a energy signal. So let us apply. So here I can tell the signal is not an energy signal. So let us apply the other formula for the obtaining the power. So power is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 upon 2t x of t square. So here let us substitute for x of t as 1. So finally we will apply the limits later. Let us integrate it first from 0 to t. So if you substitute for t, if you apply the limits for t, small t, then you are left out with 1 upon 2t into t. So t will get cancelled. So finally you are obtained with half watts. So here you are obtaining a finite power, whereas energy you are getting infinite. So if the power is finite and energy is infinite, then I can call it as a power signal. So the given signal is a power signal. So after applying these two conditions, you can come to the conclusion that the given signal is power or energy signal. Okay, so normally if you are getting signals with finite duration, okay, signal with finite duration and magnitude, such kind of signals will be energy signals, whereas signals with infinite duration with constant amplitude, such signals will be power signals. Okay, so I can tell in general that signals with finite duration and magnitude, okay, such signals will be energy signals, and signals with infinite duration. So here in this case, it is a step signal. Okay, so step signal is having a infinite duration, but its amplitude is constant. Okay, such kind of other types of signals which is having such properties, that is infinite duration and constant amplitude, can be in general can be called as power signals. So periodic signals are power signals, non-periodic signals are energy signals. Now let us take another example now. Determine the energy and power for the following continuous time signal. X of t is equal to e raised to minus 2t into u of t. So what is u of t? Excuse me. Okay. So what is meant by u of t? What is u of t? It is a unit step signal which extends only in the positive side. It is originating and it is extending up to only positive side. Okay, so u of t is a step signal which is there on the right hand side of your y-axis. So if I multiply any signal by u of t, you will obtain only on the right hand side. Okay, you will obtain the signal only on the right hand side if I multiply any signal by u of t. Okay, u of t is a step signal which is extending on the right hand side of the y-axis. So the e raised to minus 2t you will be obtaining only on the right hand side. So indirectly I can write e raised to minus 2t u of t. This exists for t greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so I can now find out the energy in the signal using this formula. If you apply the formula, then e raised to minus 2t square. Again here also I can apply the limit as 0 to t, because since I have multiplied your signal by a unit step signal, then it extends only in the positive side. So I can apply the limits as 0 to t. Now if you integrate it, you will get e raised to minus 4t by 4. You integrate it, it e raised to minus 4t by minus 4. So after applying the limits, you will get 1 by 4 minus e raised to minus 4t by 4. Now let us, okay, it is 4t capital T, it is. After applying the limits, small t will change to capital T. Now applying the limit t tends to infinity. Now applied limit t tends to infinity, e raised to infinity, it will be 0. So finally you are getting 1 by 4 joules. So the energy contained in the value has a finite value which is 1 by 4 Now let us verify the power in the signal also. Okay, power P is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 upon 2 tx of t square. Here also I can apply the limits at 0 to t. Okay, after integrating everything, you are getting 1 by 4 into e raised to minus 4t by 4. Now let us put t tends to infinity. If we apply the limits, then 1 upon 2t, that is 1 upon infinity. So 1 upon infinity will be 0. So the power in the signal is 0. So here I can finally come to the conclusion that since energy is constant, automatically the power in the signal will be 0. So the given signal is an energy signal. Okay. Okay, before coming to the discrete part, uh, you can solve a few numericals on this. So I'll share the link for the question. And we will discuss after solving. I'll give only 15 minutes. After that, we will discuss on the answer of that question. Otherwise, I will not come to know whether you are doing it or not.